So in this training, we are going to talk about how to build a 20K a month online fitness coaching business in just 4 hours a day. And so what's going to be really important is I want to lay out for you a roadmap and a blueprint to how to do this in a way that is simple, that is consistent, and that is recurring. Because there's no point in hitting one of these big months, coming in, hitting a 10K, 15, 20, 30K a month, hitting it once, and then falling off. If you're here to build a business and you want to build something long term, it's like you need to build something that's going to be able to be repeated every single month, right? And so the cool thing about the way that I actually help people is I actually do what it is I teach. So what I'm going to do for you inside this training is I'm just literally going to show you the behind the scenes of my own business. I'm going to show you my business model. We're going to talk about my calendar. I'm going to show you my day-to-day actions, how I'm spending my time. We're going to talk about my offers, the offer stack. I'm going to show you my lead gen funnels. I'm going to show you my social media content cadence, where I'm posting, when I'm posting, all of that kind of stuff. And literally, again, just like show you exactly what it is I'm doing. So inside this training, I'm not here to convince you or to, hard pitch you or sell you over the next 30 minutes on, joining my program or doing things the way I do them. I literally just want to show you, again, what it is I'm doing, how it is I'm building businesses. At the very end, I will drop like a 30-second call to action, like invitation, if you would like to get my help. But my overall goal is really to just, again, lay out for you what it is I'm doing so that you can, take some value from it. You can take it, you can run with it, you can implement it, or whatever it is you'd like to do with that. So this is not theory. Again, it's what I'm actually doing, as well as how my clients are winning. The big thing is like I love to help people break through to those 10 to 20K months. So most coaches who come to me, they already have an existing business. They've hit some of those 10, 20, 30, 40K months before, but they really just struggle to hit that business where it's, hey, 20K months, 15K months, consistently recurring month in and month out. That's really kind of the zone that I love to help people with. So I'm just going to break down for you again, like step by step, exactly how to do this. So who is this video not for? First of all, inside this training, if you're a beginner trying to be an entrepreneur for the first time, this is not really going to be for you. Who's going to get the most value out of this? I talked down here who this is for, is coaches that are already serving clients, people that have a program rolling already, they have proof of results, and really you're just here looking for the simplest path to grow your business and program. Like that's who's going to get the most value out of this. Also, if you are not a fitness coach, so if you are a fitness influencer or some other sort of coach, consultant, whatever that looks like, this is also not going to be for you. This is really only for fitness coaches. So who this is for, again, if you're established, you've already got a program, you've already got client results, you've got things rolling, you're just trying to grow and scale, you're going to get a lot of value out of this. Again, I'm just literally going to show you my business model, my business plan, how I'm doing everything. Money, if you want to build a highly profitable business and you want to actually stack recurring income, recurring cash every single month, where you wake up on the first, bills are already paid, and anxiety is low, stress is low, you're able to really just tap into your work and not have, again, like financial stress. If that's you and that's something that's important to you, I'm going to show you again my offers. I'm going to show you the offer stack, where my recurring income is coming from. Clarity, if you want to wake up every single day, feel clear, confident, excited to work, to plug into your business, to log into your program and love the clients you're working with, I'm going to show you exactly what it is I'm doing with my time. I have theme days. I use the 4-hour workday. There's kind of a unique approach that I take to being productive and getting my work done every single day. So I'm going to show you my calendar. Plan. If you want a simple plan to grow and scale your business consistently, right? With one signature offer that's simple to sell, simple to deliver, I'm going to show you the business model, a consistent lead generation system that brings in leads, warms them up, and turns them into high-ticket clients, and a system or process that allows you to run your business efficiently and avoid burnout. Again, I'm going to literally just show you my funnels. I'm going to show you my social media. I'm going to show you my content cadence. I'm going to show you exactly where I'm posting, what I'm posting, how often I'm posting, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, if you want to have fun in your business, if you want to clock in every single Monday and to love the business you have, to love the life that you've built for yourself and your family, and really live a life of financial and personal freedom, then you're going to get a lot out of this training. You're going to have a feeling really resonate with the really like laid back approach that we take to business, kind of the laid back, consistent, predictable approach that we take. We're not here to, 10x the business over the next 30 days. Like we're here to literally, I tell my clients all the time, it's like business and fitness are the exact same. It's like you want to build a life that is very stress-free, where you just plug in. It's about showing up every single day, taking those small PRs, taking those small wins, and looking at building your business over the next 12 to 24 months. And so again, if that is stuff that like clicks with you, if that is, worldview and the ways that you kind of view things, then I'm excited to get this training to you. All right. So I want to dive in a little bit to my story, give you some just like backstory to all this, that you just have some context to understanding like where this is coming from. So I grew up Amish/Mennonite, like very, very conservative. Mom wore the bonnets and the dresses, and my dad had the suspenders and the hat and the big beard and all that kind of stuff, right? That's where mine comes from. So I grew up like very, very conservative. And at the age of 11, I was put into my family's construction business. And so for me, growing up was all about, working hard, mastering your craft, getting really, really good at the blue collar trade. And I got to see, the behind the scenes of like what it actually took to run a business. I got to see how to interact with customers, how to interact with contractors, with employees, how to do sales, difficult conversations, all those types of things. So really for me, for, the last 20 years of my life, like I have been in the background and behind the scenes of businesses and understanding and seeing what it takes to actually run them. Now, fast forward to 2014, right now. So by the way, I'm 29 years old. I'm married to my wife, Alli. Just this week, we actually hit our 2-year anniversary, and we live in Ohio now. And so in 2014 is when I graduated high school, and I got a bunch of scholarships, decided, hey, I'm going to go off to, I've been working construction, graduate high school, get scholarships. I'm going to go off to college and go to medical school, right? So very quickly, I realized that, hey, like that was not the path for me. I thought, hey, maybe I'll like go to law school, something like that. Again, just like wasn't super interested in it. And so shortly after, I ended up deciding to drop out. Now this was kind of an unpopular decision because neither of my parents graduated high school. All right, so my dad left high school when he was a freshman. My mom never finished her classes, so she never graduated as well. And so it was really a difficult decision to kind of leave that path behind. But again, I just like knew it wasn't for me. And this was the end of 2015 when I dropped out. It was on Black Friday, and there was this big thing on social media, right? This was like when the last couple of years up to that point is when the fitness influencers and the whole like fitness industry was really blowing up online. I'm seeing, Christian Guzman, I'm seeing Nick Bear, I'm seeing Gymsharks, and these big brands being built. And online fitness coaching was like this big thing. So I'm following all these fitness coaches. I'm super interested in what they're doing. I'm, clicking all the links in their bios and looking at their applications, trying to figure out what these people are doing. And I actually hired my first business coach after I ended up dropping out. So Black Friday, rolls around, and there's this business coach. So I ended up joining his program. And really what that program helped me do is it really exposed me to this idea that, hey, there are DM scripts, there are sales scripts, there are lead generation posts, and there are lead generation systems. And like, I really just got exposed to this whole side of online business that I'd never really seen or knew before, right? I'm following all these fitness coaches, but like, I didn't know this stuff was happening in the background. And so over the next several years, it was really just me like honing in and developing my skills of being a fitness coach, running a business. I started out initially probably just like most coaches. Like I was no niche. I was the coach that helped anybody and everybody. And the issue there was like, it's high touch 1-to-1, no niche. I have all these different clients with all these different goals. I got people doing Spartan races. I've got people in fat loss journeys. I've got power lifters. I had this older gentleman, one of my first clients. He was like in his mid 60s, like he needed a special program. And so I quickly really capped out on just delivery was taking me so much time. I was spending all my time creating all these customized programs. And so during that period, I really began to niche down and take the lessons I'd learned from construction of like mastering my craft. And I really started to get good at strength training, powerlifting, teaching people the big three, the squat, bench, and deadlifts. And that really became like my niche. I started working with a lot of guys in their 20s and 30s. I helping people, build muscle, get stronger, specifically around the big three. And that's really like where I spent the next several years just obsessively honing in and mastering my craft. Of being this strength coach, this power lifter. I had clients from all around the world. I was focused in on, building my business skills, building my social media. My social media was crushing. I was getting literally millions of impressions every single month organically. I started out over on Twitter. I was getting literally hundreds of followers every single month. And so things were like crushing, right? Things were trending in a really good direction. Now 2019 rolls around, and like most trainers, like most coaches, I'd always dreamed of opening a gym. And so I decided to open up a powerlifting gym in Dayton, Ohio. And this was really like an extension of this online business that I've been building. And this is like really where, first of all, this is like really where I saw the power of social media. So we had people from over 21 different states come into Dayton, come to the gym and actually live with us. And mind you, like this gym, it was literally in this little, this old mechanic shop. There's like oil stained floors, holes in the ceiling, holes in the wall. Like it was pretty beat up. It was pretty rough. But that was like the vibe, right? It's like we were slamming weights. We were selling clothes. We were selling ebooks. Again, I had clients all over the world. This is actually where I met my wife. Alli came in and she was working out. We ended up doing some photo shoots and things together. But this was like really where this became like that extension. I really began to see like the power of social media. These were all like literally just social media people coming into town wanting to live with us. But as I'm sure you can see, the timeline, like this was it was August of 2019 when I opened my gym. COVID was like 6 to 8 months right around the corner, right? So again, I'm over in Ohio, which was like the tip of the spear. Like our governor was the one that was the first one to shut everything down. It was literally the tip of the spear. So overnight, if you've been in the fitness industry, if you did, during that period, like everything came to a halt. So during that period, the gym is shut down. I'm losing thousands of dollars, literally tens of thousands of dollars, because the landlord still wants rent. The electric company still expects to be paid. Water, gas, trash, all that stuff is still due, right? And so I'm literally losing thousands of dollars. Slowly, I'm just like losing clients out the back end. And it's like, what do you do, right? It was like just kind of a really weird period. Gyms are closed. You don't really know what to do. Everything's kind of shut down and came to a halt. And so it was during that period where I ended up deciding to just completely shut the gym down. So my lease ended. I told the landlord, I was like, hey, I don't know what's happening. Things were beginning to open back up, but I was like, I don't know if it's going to open up for real, if we're going to get shutdowns again. And so I just packed everything up. I put all of my equipment into a storage locker and went 100% online, right? So the focus was 100% online in 2020, 2021. That's really was the focus. I was back into online fitness coaching full time again. And over the next 5 months, I completely restarted the business. And not only did I build my business all the way back to where it was before, but I actually doubled my business over that 5-month period. And so that's where I really began to realize like, hey, the last 5-6 years of me doing this, of me being an online fitness coach, like I had really built some skills and really built some systems. And that was like a big lesson for me. It was like, once you've done something, once you have, acquired skills, acquired systems, knowledge, information about how to do something, like you have that forever, right? It's kind of like your physique. It's like, once you've built that, it's like, it can't be taken away from you. And so in 2021, in February 2021, to be exact, that's when kind of the second rounds of shutdowns were, around the corner. They're talking about, hey, we're going to be shutting things down. And so, as a fitness coach, obviously many other fitness coaches, like we all follow each other, like, how that works, right? And so I started having fitness coaches reaching out to me and just like talking online business. Hey dude, like, what are you doing? Shutdowns are coming around. I got to get this online stuff figured out. And so next thing I knew, it was about 45 days later. So this was actually, it started in February. And over the next 45 days, I found that I had a full roster of coaches working with me, wanting to help grow their business. And this really became a big aha moment for me because over the next several months of working with these coaches and helping them just implement things in their businesses, using the scripts that I'd been using, the DM scripts, the sales scripts, talking content, lead generation, lead magnets, and things like that with them, they were like crushing. And I mean that on a level of like we had a coach come in, and in the first 28 days, he went from a 2K month to a 9.5K month. We had another coach come in and land 12 clients in his first 30 days. And that was just like a recurring theme, like over and over and over and over again with this crew of coaches that I was working with. And that's when I started realizing, I was like, dude, like these people, like I was a little bit mad, to be honest. I was like, the success that had taken me like all these years to build up, these guys were having like in just mere like weeks and months. And so that was like a really cool moment for me though, to see all of this, all this struggle and all this stuff that I had to figure out, had to put together, to see other people take it and just like crush with it. And so that really became then the journey over the next several years of just like continuing to work with more coaches to hone in my skills of building stuff out. And I do want to make it clear. This was like at this point, like if you had asked me back in 2019, 2020, I would have told you that here today, like I would still be a gym owner and a fitness coach. Business coaching was never really anything that I ever intended to get into. In fact, is when we actually took on this initial wave of coaches, we didn't have any sort of e-courses. We didn't have any sort of like videos. Like I was literally just getting on calls with guys for like 2 hours, talking to them about their business. Like this was never anything that I really intended to get into. It kind of just like happened organically and just kind of fell in my lap. And so as I was like, hey, this is like cool, this is fun, I'm like enjoying it, people are crushing, that was something that like really took off for me, and that became like the focus for me over the last several years. So it's 2024 right now as I'm recording this, September 5th, and been doing this now for the last 3.5 years. But the story that I really wanted to get to, and where this is all leading, is to mid 2023. So last year, middle of the year, around September, October, kind of around that phase, towards the end of the year, I found myself beginning to not really enjoy my business, right? The only way I can say it is that, this whole journey of all these years of like figuring things out, going through COVID, not only just going through COVID myself and like having a gym and, losing all this money, bleeding out cash, but then starting another business where I'm helping with other fitness pros who are also going through all the stress of COVID. The only thing that I can really say is that it just felt like the stress was catching up with me. And I remember end of last year, like waking up and literally just like looking in the mirror and just realizing that I was 35 pounds overweight. My schedule was a total mess. I wasn't going to the gym consistently. I was totally overran. I was overwhelmed. Literally my schedule from the moment I woke up is I would wake up, I would go brew a coffee, I would sit on the couch, drink my coffee, and then I would walk into the office. And I would sit there and I would work until basically dinner time, and I would go eat dinner. Maybe we would watch some Netflix, but then I would just head straight to bed. And I realized like I was literally getting probably less than 2,000 steps a day. I was not working out consistently. I wasn't even getting sunshine. Right. And I just started to realize that, I was like, just like working myself into something that was not sustainable. And I was like beginning to just like really, really not like my business. Now, the difficult part to this all was that we were having our biggest cash months ever. Like business was at a peak. It was at an all-time high. We were crushing. During Black Friday going into Christmas, there was like a 14-day period where we brought in 10 clients, and those were 10 clients at a 9K front end offer that we had. And so like things were like going super well. Like we didn't have a big team at the time. I've had the whole like setters, coachers, closers. Like I've had that stuff in the past. At this point, it was just my wife and I. And so things were like super profitable. It was 100% organic. There was no paid ads. And so like the cash flow was great. Business was doing great. On the outside, everything seems good. But inside, like I'm just really struggling to even get out of bed, and I'm struggling to even want to check into my business. And so what this really led me to was the beginning of 2024, coming into January. I just decided that I had to totally restart my business from the ground up. And I needed to take a step back and make things simple again, make things sustainable again, make things fun again. I had to start taking care of myself. As I look at it, it's like I said, we just had our 2-year anniversary, and looking back, it's like date night had stopped happening. I wasn't going to the gym, and it was like, if I want to be married for the next 50 years, if I want to run businesses for the next 50 years, it's going to have to be sustainable. It's going to have to be something that I can do for an extended period of time. And so it was time to make things sustainable and like doable again, right? So I really took a step back in January, set new boundaries, rebuilt my business, built things the way that I wanted, designed a life that I loved, began to set out on a journey to actually understand, like intentionally building like what it was that I wanted to do and the direction I wanted to go. Started working with only dream clients. I'm going to get into this and explain kind of like what this all looks like, and focusing on personal mastery and making sure that my life got better and not worse as I continue to build things out. And so let me kind of just explain to you like what 2023 or the old business, quote unquote, looks like compared to the new business. So the old business, it was just one big expensive offer. And so the issue there was like it's super inefficient and ineffective. It required all kinds of call booking. It was working every second, more, trying to just juice every second out of the day. What's crazy is looking back to that period, like I was telling you, like I would just like sit down and like I wouldn't get out of my desk until the evening. And yet looking back at that time, like I've talked to my clients about this before, it was like a lot of those days almost like I was blacking out. I think back to, I'm like, I don't even know what I was doing. Like I was just so stressed out and so like just plugged into the business that I wasn't even being effective. I wasn't even being productive. And I was working these huge long hours. So I was working every second, more, just totally just booking calls, taking calls, hard selling everyone, all kinds of objection handling, working with anyone and everyone that came my way. Again, lots of frustration, complexity, lots of stress, just chasing, big months. Client signing was the focus. You get one client, it's like right on to the next. And overall, I was building this business that had no freedom. Now, the new business, in the way that, going into 2024, and really what I've done over the last September here, so the last like 9 months, is I've completely changed everything that I'm doing. And nowadays, like I only have one program, all right? I have one program, but there are hybrid levels of access, meaning there are multiple price points that someone can work with me. So it's not just one big expensive thing. There's multiple levels. And sometimes people work their way up the levels. Sometimes people go down and work their way down the levels. Again, I'm going to show you my offers and all that stuff here in a second. 4-hour work days. I have constraints. I have theme days. I focus on being productive and making sure that, hey, when I am logged into business, that I'm super focused. I'm actually getting good work done. Instead of just doing all this hard selling, I now pre-sell with content. Sometimes I don't even take sales calls because people literally come to me and they're just like, hey, how much does it cost? I'm ready to go. How do I sign up? And they literally just sign up in the DMs. Only working with dream clients, not just looking for anybody and everybody. I'm very clear on, hey, who it is I want to work with, who it is I don't want to work with. Things are fun, simple, consistent. Monthly recurring revenue is the big focus. Client retention, right? Going from how do I just keep signing up clients to how do I actually keep clients? How do I create not just an offer so good people feel stupid saying no, but how do I create a program so good that people don't want to leave? And as I was looking at a little bit of a side note, and we'll talk about it here in a second with client retention, but as I was looking at, actual like LTV and like what was actually happening with recurring revenue and income and all that kind of stuff on the back end, what we started to realize is that when clients stayed with us, they were worth 3 to 5x more. And so while the whole of the industry and us at the time were just totally focused on how do we get our next client? How do we sign more people? We realized it was much more profitable to just create a really good service that people wanted to stay. So in other words, how do we just retain clients and just get people to want to continue being a part of the program? We'll talk about that in a second, what that looks like. But total freedom, like that is just like the goal. I'll break down for you, but like some days, like I'm really big on like the whole 4-hour workday. And I'm going to show you like my calendar down here, like what this actually looks like. But some days that literally means like going to the pool. Now I do like to work. I love business. Like this is like something that's like super fun to me. So I do work a lot, but it's because I don't have to. In the old model, I had to. I was tied to the business. I was trapped. I was held prisoner by the business. It was like as like we were doing well, but like as things got bigger, I had less and less freedom. And nowadays, with the way that I've structured things, that doesn't happen. My time has very good constraints on it. There's a good work-life balance, and so that's what I want to break down for you. So there are 4 things as I was redesigning my business. Number one, the very first thing, actually, I would just say the number one, like leading indicator, like North Star for me is this idea of business owner freedom, right? It's this idea of business owner freedom. When I really stepped back and I looked at, what I was not liking about my business, it was the fact that I had no freedom. The whole reason I'd even gotten into business back in the day to begin with was because I wanted freedom. I wanted freedom over my time. I wanted to control my schedule. I didn't want to have to ask somebody to take some time off. I didn't want to have to That's one thing that always like annoyed me so bad about school is like having to ask if you're allowed to go to the bathroom. Like I don't like that kind of stuff, right? I like freedom. I like to do what I want, when I want, how I want. Business owner freedom to me is about time freedom. It's about financial freedom. It's about being able to do the things I love when I want to, and not to be like not for there not to be that situation where like I just can't, right? Like I want freedom. For me, that is the thing that's always driven me in business. And so as I began to pull apart what freedom looks like, number one, it needed to be fun and sustainable, right? So I needed to, again, I've been married for 2 years. We've been together for 4 years. If I'm wanting to be married for the next 50 years, like I'm going to have something that's fun and sustainable. If I want to have businesses and run businesses for the next decades, like I'm going to have something that's fun and sustainable. Like there's no other way, which leads to intentional design. This one kind of piggybacks off of that because the next 6 months, the next 12 months, 24, the next 5 years, like it's going to come and go. And so what I started to really think about was over that time period, the next 12 to 24 months, like life is either going to happen by default or it's going to happen by design. Like I'm either going to play a victim to life and I'm going to allow myself to just kind of go with the flow, to just fall back into this old business model and this old way of building business where I just kind of trap myself, or I could intentionally design things and I could intentionally say, this is where I want to go. These are the things that I'm willing to do. These are the things I'm not willing to do. And this is the way that I'm going to build my business. And so intentional design was a big piece of this as well. Recurring cash. This has been one of the key pillars to this entire thing. Being able to, so much of the noise out there right now is it's all about, getting those screenshots, the coaching screenshot where you're letting people know like, oh, I just hit this big month, and chasing paid in fulls and just how can I just slam this month? This is why so many people, and I was finding myself like, are stuck on the client signing hamster wheel because there is no recurring cash. It's like every single month they wake up and there is zero again. I've literally talked to coaches. I was just talking to a coach the other day who they hit a 40K month and now this month they're back down to 8K, right? That's not ideal. Like I would way rather wake up in that coach's situation. I would way rather wake up, be in a 20K month, but it's recurring. And you know that, hey, this month I hit 20K, next month I hit 20K, the next month I hit 20K, then experience these big 40, 50, 60K months and then back down to 8K, right? So recurring cash has given me so much just financial stability and just like stress. It's been stress relieving, right? And then client retention, right? This is a big piece too. If you want to create recurring cash, it's switching from being like, how can I get my next client? How can I create this offer and throw these wild guarantees in there? They're just like so good that people are just going to say yes, to how do I actually build a program that's so good that it delivers and people actually want to stay and people want to be a part of the community. People want to be a part of this coaching program, not just for the next 12 weeks or the next 16 weeks, but for the next 12 months, 24 months, 36 months. I literally have clients that have worked with me for 3 years. And I can tell you that client retention is so much more profitable than always going out and chasing down your next client. We did the studies. We've looked at it with our own data information. It's literally 3 to 5 times, if not more, profitable to keep clients than it is to go out and sign clients, meaning that for every one client you keep, it's pretty much equal to signing 3 to 5 new clients on the front end, right? So setting up and really prioritizing client retention. Now let's talk about what this actually looks like, right? This is like this would be like how do I say this? Like, this would be like the philosophy that I build on. These would be like the values. These are the things that I'm always keeping top of mind when I go into making any sort of business decision. When I'm looking at something, do I want to do this? Do I want to take on this project or not? I look at it, I'm like, first of all, is this going to be fun and sustainable? Is this going to lead to the life that I actually want? Is this going to lead to more stability? Is this going to lead to a better program, a better culture? Or is it going to take away from those things, right? So this is kind of like again, like that framework that I make decisions through. So the actual model, let's talk about what this looks like. So most coaches have just been lied to, right? They've been told that there's one way and one way only to grow your business. And your business has to look like this. There's no other way, right? You see this so much with like, oh, it's like only organic, or it's like, oh, like only do paid ads, or you should only do one-to-one, or you should only do group coaching, right? There's so much noise out there that there's just only one way to do things. And it's just not true. There are many different ways to reach your goals. What's important is that you build a business that leads to the life you actually want, right? We just spend a lot of time talking about that. So the model determines how you spend your time each day. It determines what you're going to work on, what gets done, how it'll be executed, which means that picking the right model is one of, if not the most important things you can do. And so there are really like while there are many different models and many different ways to do things, there's really only like, several of them that are actually like good and actually work. Let me see if I can zoom out. All right, we'll just cut this off. All right. So model number one, and this is like really the business that I'm in right now, is one single offer, one channel. It's you and a virtual assistant. It's keeping things like super lean, super mean, and just like zero complexity. And the other thing that I want to say on this is there are no right or wrong answers to any of this. You can go through different seasons. Maybe one season, like I've been in this model too. I've been in where I've had the setters, the coaches, the closers. Like I've been in multiples of these different models. And what I'll say is that you can go through different seasons. Right now I'm in a season of like, hey, I want things to be lean. I want things to be simple. I want to push things as far as I can just by myself to just see like where the limits are that I can actually take this. And I'm fairly certain that I can take this thing over 50K recurring months just by myself and a virtual assistant. All right. So model number one is one offer, one channel, you and a VA. Model two is two offers, two channels, you, a VA, setter, coach, and a closer. Model three is 2+ offers, two channels, like 2 lead generation channels. You have multiple setters, multiple coaches, multiple closers, right? And this is again just from like more of like a team structure. When we're talking about models, like what we're really talking about is what's client acquisition going to look like and what is client delivery going to look like. We're talking about things like what is the offer going to be? What's the niche? What's the ideal client? What's the main pain point and problem you're going to solve? How long is the program going to be? What is going to be the price point? Like all these things, there's no one answer. There's many different ways to do these things. It's looking at things like, cool, are you just going to be organic? Are you going to be paid ads? Are you going to have a hybrid? Are you going to do a little bit of both? What channels are you going to be on? Are you going to be on Instagram? Are you going to be on Facebook? Are you going to use a group? Are you going to use YouTube? Like, how are you actually going to generate your leads? All these questions are super, super important when it comes to client delivery. Are you going to have a coach? Is it just going to be you? Is it going to be one-to-one coaching, group coaching, hybrid coaching? I have a hybrid model right now. So I have both group and I have one-to-one. And I'm going to show you that here in a second. But the overall point of what I want to drive home here in the model is, again, so many coaches have been told that there's only one single way to grow your business and business needs to look like this. But it's just not true. There are many different ways to do it. What's important is you pick the one that makes the most sense for you, for the season you're in, and it's actually going to lead to the life that you want. And so for me, this is my workflow right now, right? Like I said, right now I'm super lean. It's just me, and I'm keeping things as simple as possible. And so this is the 4-hour workday for me. And what the 4-hour workday really symbolizes for me is, in the past, it was just about sitting down, work. I was not being productive. It was just how many hours can I put in, right? It was just like work harder, not smarter. And what I started to really realize is that there are only a few projects, there are only a few tasks and things that actually move the needle forward. And so for me, the focus these days is understanding what things actually move the needle forward and then prioritizing those and making sure that those are time blocked into my day. And so what this looks like at the moment is Tuesdays and Thursdays. So these yellow blocks right here are community calls. All right. So I have a community. I'm going to show you my offers here in a second. I have a community. These are my community calls. This red, like salmon color, these are my one-to-one coaching slots. And then the blue over here on Monday, Wednesday, and then it goes over into Friday as well. These are all of my content creation, lead generation, sales like activity days, right? What's important is that each day is themed. So I only do client delivery stuff on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then these days are really set aside for, again, moving my own projects forward, taking care of my own marketing and sales, and making sure that I'm just being productive and that when I actually plug into the business that I'm getting the right things done. Now there's lots of white space here. And what this white space for me is like I said, like I actually like business. I enjoy running a business. I enjoy marketing, sales, lead generation, those types of things. And so that does end up filling up a lot of these slots for me. The thing is that these are unscheduled slots. So some days I literally go out to the pool, right? Some days it's like, hey, I get my work done. I go out to the pool. Some days it's, hey, I have trainings and videos I want to create. And so I spend time creating these trainings and videos. Some days it's, hey, I just want to sit in the DMs. I got a lot of good conversations going. I got a lot of leads flowing my way right now. And I just want to chat with people and book calls, take calls, have sales conversations. The point being, though, is that every single day I have at least 3 to 4 hours that are really time blocked that, hey, these are my productive hours. These are my productive days where there are certain tasks that I know are going to be needle movers that I plug in. I get those done. And then that allows the rest of the day for me to just be stress free. So these are the non-negotiables and the constraints that I built into my life. These are the days when I'm going to do client delivery, and these are the days when I'm going to work on my projects. And I don't compromise on those, right? That's the important piece. I don't compromise on those. I've intentionally designed my business. I've intentionally designed my life. And I've said, hey, this is when I will be available for these things. This is when I will do this. And so I've built non-negotiables. I've built constraints into my life because this is the only way to make something that's going to be sustainable long-term. So most days I spend the white time thinking, walking, creating, scheming up new things to build, create, test. Sometimes again, I just check out. Every day, like I wake up excited to move my business forward. I'm always in and out of the DMs, chatting with people, having fun. Like business is fun to me. And so a lot of this white space does end up getting filled with business activities. But again, it's just a whole different mentality of like, I'm doing it because I want to do it. I'm doing it because it's fun. And it's not something that I'm feeling forced to do and something I'm not pressured to do. All right. So that has been the concept and the mindset behind the 4-hour workday. 4 hours that I'm dedicated to, this is absolutely has to get done. And then the rest of the day is really for white space to do what I want. So my programs and offers. This is the offer stack. So I only have one program. I have one single program where I'm helping online fitness coaches get to 10 to 20K months. All right. That's my one and only single program. Now, what this looks like though, is there are multiple levels and there are multiple tiers according to how much access you want to me. All right. And so as this circle gets bigger, you get more and more access to me and my stuff. So at the smallest level, you just get access to free things. And free things, I have free resources and trainings where people can go deeper with me. This video right here that you're watching is an example of a free thing. There's no one-to-one coaching with this. There's no Zoom call with this. There's no like ebook or training that's coming with this. Like it's just a free video. I'm providing value. You can go deeper. You can better understand like who it is I am and what it is I do. Then I have low ticket things, and low ticket things typically are anywhere from $30 to $100. So I will sell tickets to workshops. I'll sell products. I'll sell one-off trainings. Sometimes I sell low ticket stuff, and this comes with the training. It comes with all of the resources, like everything that would be needed to deliver on that offer. The next tier is I have my community. Now, my community is where people get access to all of my stuff, as well as they get access to 2 community calls every single month, or every single week, rather. So they get 2 calls every single week, and they get access to my school community where all my resources and all my trainings and e-courses live. So they get access to all the low ticket stuff, all the free stuff, the community calls, the classroom, the school group, and all of that. And on top of that, I have my one-to-one clients. And my one-to-one clients get access to everything. They get access to the community, they get access to all the calls, they get access to all the resources, they get access to all the free stuff. And they also get my one-to-one time. All right. So they get access to texting channels with me to be able to go back and forth. They get access to one-to-one calls, like all that kind of stuff. And so it's one single program. There's just different levels of access to me according to what somebody actually wants, how much of my help, how much of my time, energy, and effort they want. And so this has allowed me to really create an offer that has been simple to sell, simple to deliver. For some people, the expensive thing and the one-to-one is what makes the most sense for them. For some people, they don't need as much help, and so they go into the cheaper thing. And for some people, they just want to buy a few one-off things, get some access to my resources, and that's totally fine as well. And then there's some people that just consume the free stuff, and that's cool too, right? So everybody gets to really kind of pick and choose their journey with me, or according to, like what it is I have open, right? So that is like what my offers are looking like. And this crushes in fitness coaching as well. It's like basically you would have your one-to-one coaching and you have your community, right? It'd be like group coaching. And, many fitness coaches, they run into the issue of they get, so many one-to-one clients and they just realize like they just can't take on more. And so then they cap out. And that's where the community, that's where that group style coaching program really becomes a scalable model. So nowadays, like I really cap my one-to-one. I keep that at a lower number because the community is something that can scale up really big, doesn't take a lot of time, energy, and effort. So it looks like I have the academy, which is my one-to-one clients. I have the arena, which is my community. And those are my 2 main offers I have. But again, it's all just one program. Super simple, zero complexity. There's just different price points and levels of access that you can get to it. Now let's talk about the social funnel. All right, let's talk about the social funnel. Like how am I actually getting leads? All right, so the social funnel is how I use social media. And it's really a lead generation funnel. This is, for me personally, I am using Facebook and Instagram. And the way that I'm getting my leads is understanding that, there are multiple like tiers and levels of leads, right? Not all leads are created equal. In 2024, cold to sold, like research has found that it takes roughly 7 hours of content consumption for someone to go to cold to sold. So what that means is when someone just follows you, they're a super cold lead. And many coaches, they have all these cold leads and they've been taught to just go out, reach out to these people, try to book intro calls, do all this arm twisting. That's like the old business that I was talking about before. It was just like find anybody and everybody and try to sell them something. But really, the way that I've changed the approach to everything that I was doing, I was experiencing back then that it was just taking forever for people to actually join up. And it's because content was not really a big focus. For most of the industry, content isn't a big focus. They're told to create content. But really the big thing that moves the needle for most online fitness coaches is they're told to just DM, call book. And that's important. You need to be booking calls. You need to be taking calls. But they're not actually told and taught how to effectively take people from cold to sold. Because in 2024, the thing that really takes people from cold to sold is 7 hours of content consumption. And so what I realized is there is a content flywheel. There are 3 different mediums of content. And if you want to effectively warm people up and warm them up fast, you need to be taking content in 2024 more seriously than you've ever taken it before. So there are 3 different types of content. There is short form content, there's medium content, and there's long form content. And I'm going to break down for you kind of like what this looks like and what my content plan. This is where it's going to make a little bit more sense. But you want to be creating all 3 mediums. You need some content that is shallow, that is just super easy to consume. You need some content that is long, where people can actually dig in and understand who it is you are, what it is you do, how it is that you can actually help them to really speed up this process of these 7 hours of content consumed. This year, I've not taken a ton of sales calls. And the reason for that is because people have consumed my content, and the content alone has done all of the pre-selling for me. And so there hasn't even been a need to take sales calls because people are hitting me up in the DMs just being like, hey, I've just watched all this content from you. I've just been consuming all these videos and these resources and these playbooks. How do I actually join? How do I get a hold of more of your stuff? And so understanding if they're cold leads at the very top, these are your new leads. And this is where we're just getting people free resources. And we are trying to introduce them to us into our world. And we're trying to get them to, again, begin this process of consuming content. In the middle, this is where we start to have warm leads. And these warm leads, they've consumed some content. And it's all about for them, it's about taking them deeper with videos, with trainings. I'm going to show you like how I use YouTube for this. But it's about really like warming them up and getting them to go super deep with you. And at the bottom, having conversion events, having regular, whether it's challenges or free coaching calls, whether it's workshops or master classes, having some sort of conversion event every single month to actually take people, get them off your social media, off your profile and into your program has been the game changer for us, right? And so understanding with the social funnel, it's like you have, not all leads are created equal. In 2024, the thing that takes someone from cold to sold, it's not about how long they follow you. It's about how much of your content they've consumed. And so the old way of doing things was just send as many DMs, so much of the noise out there. I literally just saw it on the timeline the other day. It's like, if you're not sending 100 DMs, like you're not serious about growing your business. And that is the old way of doing things. That's the way that I was so caught up in. That's why I was spending so much time in my business and just sitting at my desk is because send 100 DMs, you're not serious, right? Under this new way, we are putting a huge focus on content. We are pre-selling people with our content and taking them from cold to sold. The more content they consume, the more sold they are, which means people come to sales calls already ready to go, already wanting to join your program because they know who it is you are. They've watched so much content of yours. They know who you are. They know what you do, and they want to join the program. And so this is what my content plan actually looks like. I have my profile. Right now, I've actually just moved over to Instagram, but I've used Facebook for the last 3.5, 4 years. But I've been really enjoying Instagram. So it doesn't really matter. Instagram, Facebook, they both work. Well, you have your profile, and every single day I'm just cycling through the different archetypes of content. So we have authority content, which is all about, this is like your educational piece of content, teaching people what it is you know. You have character content, which is like personal stories, just bring people behind the scenes into like you, your life, who it is you are. It's like people don't buy programs, they buy coaches, right? That's kind of like a popular saying in the industry. On Wednesday, I always do an action post. Thursday, social proof post. Friday, another personal story character post. And so this is literally my content plan. I just cycle through the different archetypes of content. It's literally no more complicated than that. Every day, on my stories, 3 to 5 times a day, I'm creating stories. So this profile content, this is a lot of like my medium form content, right? This is like captions and things like that. This kind of content, roughly takes like a minute to consume. But think about, like, if you're only creating medium form content, how many posts does somebody have to read to consume that 7 hours of content? It's a lot of content, right? And then 3 to 5 times a day, I'm posting my stories. This would be that short form content, right? But then once a week, I am posting on YouTube, right? On Thursdays. Now, what I'll say is I just recently moved to YouTube, but for the last 3 years, I have used a Facebook group, and I live streamed in my Facebook group every single week for 3 years. And this is really just being moved. This is the exact same idea. Instead of live streaming to the group, I'm just moving this stuff over onto a YouTube page, right? But having these videos where people can go deep, and then I'm using email. This is another kind of like ninja hack. I'm using email to really just redistribute stuff, making sure that people have seen my content and seen what it is I'm up to. So in other words, on my profile is my home base. It's really like the center of everything I'm doing. My stories is just easy entertainment, likability, daily calls to actions, things like that. I just don't take my stories very seriously. And then YouTube is where people go super deep with me. This is where they get that 7 hours of content consumption. This is where they go into those videos. And again, this used to just be my group, right? So it's just like people would watch like all my group videos and my live streams. And then email is just how I make sure people are seeing my stuff. And so this is the content plan. Said another way, like making it really simple. It's like I posted my profile. I put long form stuff on my YouTube. My email like says, hey, did you see my YouTube video? Like, hey, I dropped this free resource over my Facebook page or over my Instagram. All this leads to the DMs, which leads to a sales conversation, right? So this is the super simple funnel. This is the social funnel. This is just like literally how I'm generating leads and signing up clients. And so this is the business plan. This is like super, super simple. I hope you see like how simple this is, because that was the overall point. Like when I was up here, my business was super complex. There's all these different things, all these different places. And that is the goal. Like you're seeing this, you're like, dude, this is like ridiculously simple. Like that's it. It's like, yeah, like that's it, right? That's the whole point. That's the whole point. The whole point is to make this as simple, consistent, predictable as possible. And this has been a wildly effective and efficient system for me here in 2024. Now, I want to walk through a few client stories and some people that I've helped and just show you it's like this stuff, not only is it successful for me, but it's also successful for other people. So we have Steve here. Steve came to me literally with 0 online business, 0 online clients. Here's talking about 3 clients signed back up. Shout out to client retention. Crossing a 15K month, best month to date. He has at this point served hundreds of clients online, totally crushing. Great, phenomenal CrossFit nutritionist. Shout out to him. We got Jeremy Brick, 32 plus clients. Super curious, dude. How many clients have you signed? Or how many have you landed? 32 plus. Jeremy has gone on to open up a gym up in Cleveland. Again, super crazy good coach. Absolutely crushing it. We have Ian Asher. For him, 14K with 11 days off. Now, he was actually pushing much bigger months, like much bigger months. But the reason I included this screenshot specifically was because of the 11 days off. All right. Like this is a big piece. Like I'm telling you, it's like business needs to be intentionally designed. You need to be in control of your calendar, not have your business just run you. Like taking 11 days off, super cool, right? 6 new clients landed, a couple of resigned, took a couple in person. We have Amber here, 5th client of the month, first 10K month. Shout out to her. Kala, first official 10K month. We have Blaine, a 5,000 day. This week she went on to land, I was like 11 clients. She booked 22 sales calls in like 2 days. I landed 11 of them. And then over the next couple months, she landed like another 4 or 5 of those ones. I think she ended up having like a $22,000 month that month. So, but here she is, like a $5,000 day. Shout out to her. We got Vince, 1 for 1 today. Pretty solid. 7 signups this month. A CrossFit gym owner, absolute savage. He still crushes this day. We have Jared, talking about all these calls, 11 discovery calls, 7 sales calls, 4 sales, 2 more pending, has more calls in the calendar. He's gone on to open up a gym as well. And so shout out to him. He's absolutely crushing it. Another really great coach. And so as I wrap this up here, just want to say, this is my wife and I. So this is telling Alli Fisher. And as you're going through this, if this stuff is interesting and, you're watching this and you're going through this and this sounds like stuff that is interesting. First of all, like, I hope that you can just literally take away, like, go back through this. I know I kind of like jumped through some things at the end. Like, I want to wrap this up. This is like going on an hour. So I want to kind of like wrap this up, but like go through this stuff again. And first of all, like, I hope that you can literally just take stuff away. Like, I mean, I'll literally just give you like my content cadence and like where I'm posting and like what it's looking like and like what I'm actually doing. Like, the strategy can be simple, right? The difficult part is being the person who can show up every single day and run this thing properly in the right headspace and the right mindset to be that coach that really steps up and sets those boundaries and intentionally designs this. Like Tony Robbins says that success is 80% psychology and 20% strategy, right? One of my favorite business quotes of all time is by Alex Sharp. He says, if you do not yet have the business you want, it's because you're not yet the person who can run it. And I've totally found that to be true as well over the years. It's like this conversation here, this video here, this training, like this is the strategy. The strategy is simple. The difficult part is being the person who can build the business that you want. It's being the person who steps up with that level of power of conviction. It's that whole like personal mindset, psychology side of things. And so again, this is like the stuff that we love to help people with. We love to really help coaches break through and become that person, become that business owner, become the person that has the 10, 15, 20, 30K business. This is the stuff that we love to do. So if you would like to grow a business to an online fitness coaching business, specifically to 10 to 20K months in the next 12 to really 24 months, go ahead and find me on Instagram. Tell Fisher, and just DM me community, DM me arena, something like that. And I would love to chat with you and see if I can get you some more information, see if there's any way that I might be able to help you. And if you're not ready to join up as well, like if you're not ready, like this is the first time you've like consumed anything, and you're just like, oh, I need to consume some more stuff or whatever, that's totally cool too. I encourage you to follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube. Both of those are again at Tell Fisher. And there's lots of good content, trainings, videos, posts, and things to go through. I just encourage you to give me a follow, keep consuming content, and maybe we'll chat soon. So that makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off here. Hopefully you found this super helpful. Again, this is just like literally what I'm doing. So see you in the next one.